Okay, we're going to start with functions. I could sit here and try to explain a bunch of rules, but we both know I am not a teacher, so we're just going to do some problems. You're trying to find out, is it a function? The rule is that no first component is repeated, which means that when you look at these set of points, this number, the first, we have x and y, x and y, x and y, x and y. X cannot be repeated anywhere. So when we look at this, we can automatically just look and say, okay, 3, 4, 4, and 6. The first component is repeated with a different second component, so this is not a function. Nope. Now, what's the domain? Even though it's not a function, it's still a relation. So the domain, I wrote it right here. The domain means what can x be? What can this number be? The range means what can y be? Okay? So the domain here is all the x's. So 3, 4, we don't write 4 twice, and 6. Like that. The range is all the y's. What can y be? We start with negatives, so -1, 2, 5, and 8. That's it. Second one. Is this a function? 5, 3, 4, and 7. None of these are repeated, so yes, that's a function. What's the domain? What are all the x's? We want to start with the lowest one, so we're going to put 4, 5, then 7. What's the range? All the y's. So 1, 2, 8, and 9. You just put them in order because that's the way it goes. These are supposed to be those bracket things. That's it for that one. Next one. Is this a function? The first component repeated. Let's see. 2, 0, 2. We have it repeated. Not a function. What's the domain? All the x's. 2, 0. We don't write 2 again. What's the range? 2, 4, and 6. That's it. I'm sure you probably got the intuition here now, but we're going to finish these up. Alright, first component repeated. 1, 1. Okay, this is not a function. 0, 2, and 2. This is not a function. So no. And it's going to be the same thing. I'm not going to write all these out. You know what I mean? It's the x, 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 but you don't write those twice. So really for this one it would only be 0, 1, and 2 for the domain. And then the range would be all the second numbers. Alright, last one. Is this a function? 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes it is, because none of those are repeated. Domain, all the x's. 2, 3, 5. Range, it goes right in order. 5, 7, 9, 11. Done. Those are the how to decide if it's a function from the points. Alright, next part. We're going to keep this around because we're going to look at this again. Alright, is it a function? Don't you love this game? No first component is repeated. This is the mapping. So these are the x values and these are the y values. When we look at this, when x is 4, y is 100. When x is 6, y is 200. When x is 7, y is also 200. And when x is -3, then y is 300. Now, is this a function? None of these x's are repeated, so yes, this is a function. Now the domain. What are the x's? You would literally just list these. This is the x's. 4, 6, 7, -3. And then the range, you just list these. Done. Okay. Next one. Remember, no first component is repeated. So, when x is 1, y is 10. When x is 2, y goes to 15. When x is 2, y also goes to 19. 3, it also goes to 19. And when x is 5, it goes to 27. So is this a function? Well, no, because our x, the first component, is repeated. X goes to 15 and also 19. So no. Alright, the domain is going to be these, and the range is going to be these. I'm not going to write them out. It's right there. Alright, now this one. Are these repeated? 2 goes to 1, 5 goes to 1, 11 goes to 7, 17 to 20, 3 to 20. Is it a function? Well, these are not repeated. Even though this is repeated and this is repeated, x is never repeated. So yes, this is a function. Alright? Same thing, domains, ranges. And then I wrote this here. Don't be, caught off guard if you see it like this. It's the same thing. As long as these numbers, as long as it's not, like if I put -2 here, now this is not a function because -2 is twice in this bar. All these have to be only once. 0, -1, -2. So as it stands right here, yes, this is a function. These are the domains, these are the ranges, and there's a big diesel truck driving by. Okay. That's it for that. That's the mapping part. Okay. Is it a function based graphically? I do not want to draw these again, so I'm going to try to take my time here. This is where we want to look at this again. Right? Our domain means what can x be, our range means what can y be. So that means how far do we go? X is this way, positive x, negative x. So how far along this line do we go for the domain? Now the range is this way. How far up and down y do we go? So when we're finding domain and range, that's what we're looking at. Domain is x, range is y. Okay. Is it a function? There's something called the vertical line test. That means if I draw a vertical line through the graph and it doesn't hit the point twice, then that means that we're good and that it's a function. So for this one, here's a point here, a point here, and a point here. This is a function. I know that doesn't make sense, but hold on a second. Okay. Now this one, vertical line test. I'm just going to draw a vertical line. It only hit the line once. It didn't hit the line twice. So yes, this is a function. Now what's the domain and the range of this? The domain, like we said, is x. So how far does it go this way and how far does it go this way? If you look at this, when it has these arrows, that means that it goes on to infinity. Because no matter how far you go, you can go on and on and on and on and on until the end of time. It's still going to keep going, right? So that's infinity there. And this one, same thing. It goes on and on and on forever. So that goes to negative infinity. Okay? So our domain for this way is negative infinity to positive infinity. And for y going this way, it's the same thing. Because as x as it goes over, it's also going up. Every time it goes over, it goes up, goes over, it goes up, goes over, it goes up. So it can go forever. So our range is the same. All right, next one. Vertical line test. Doop. It only hit this once, right here. So is it a function? Yes. All right, what's our domain and our range? The domain is this way, right? X. So even though it's hard to tell, X, as it continues to go on this way, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So, and it goes on forever and it goes on forever, and the further it goes out, it gets further and further and further apart. So our domain for X, for how far it's going to go, is going to be negative infinity to positive infinity. However, our range, up and down, we see that it goes down forever for infinity, but up it stops at 4. And it includes 4, because it's right at 4. So, the range here, since it goes down forever, we don't know where it goes to negative infinity, but then its utmost point is 4. And that is inclusive of 4. Okay? That's the range. Alright, next one. Vertical line test. It hit twice. See, it hit here, it hit here. Is this a function? Nope. It's just a relation. But we still need to know, what's the domain? Domain, how far along X are we going here? So on this one, it looks like we start at 3, inclusive. And that way it goes forever. We don't know where it goes. So it goes to infinity. Oops, sorry. Infinity. Okay, now the range, Y, so this way, it looks like it goes to, I might have drawn it a little messed up, but I think it's 3 and 1. So the range will be from 1 to 3, inclusive. Well, no, because these points aren't right. I'm sorry, that's not right. The range from here to here, that was not right. The domain is correct, but the range, actually, when you look at it, it goes like this. It does the same thing. It goes out forever and ever, and it goes this way forever and ever. So when we're looking at it this way, I was looking at where I drew my line. That's wrong. That was a vertical line test. The actual range, this goes out forever, and this goes out forever, and as it goes out, it continues to go up, 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 up. So we're looking at Y. It grows. So that's going to actually be, you know, it's going to come down forever and up forever. So negative infinity to positive infinity. I hope I didn't confuse you on that. All right, let's see what else I got here. Oh yeah, I got more. All right, these graphs are a little messed up here. Okay, so vertical line test. All right there. It only goes through this graph once, right there. So is this a function? Yes, it is. What's our domain? The domain for X going this way is it goes on forever this way, and it goes on forever this way. So domain is negative infinity to positive infinity. Now, the range going this way, even though it has these points right here, so it would kind of throw you off, it would make you think that that's it. It's not, because when you look over here, as X goes up, Y goes up. As X goes up, Y goes up. Same thing. So it's the same, because it grows. Don't pay attention to these. It's this and this. All right, number 15, vertical line test. It hit twice, right there and right there. So is this a function? No. Alright, what's our domain? Domain is from that way to that way. So we have -4 and 4. Easy. Inclusive. Range. This way to this way. Looks like we have 3 and -3. Done. This one. Vertical line test. It only hit once. Is this a function? Yes. What's our domain? The domain goes from there to there. And these are points. If you notice, these don't have the arrows like this did. These are points. So the domain goes on x from -2 to 2. And it includes it. And the range is y. So our y is going to be from 0, because at this point, this is x, but our y here is 0. See? Like this point right here is 2, 0. Because you go over, right? Over 2 and up none. That's where our y is starting. Because we're only looking at this line. So it's 0 to 4. Alright, we're not paying it when we're trying to find the range, we're not paying attention to where the 2 is. We're only paying attention to where on this line, what could it possibly be. And it's within the realm of 0 and 4. And I think that's it for the first video. I got some stuff for the next video, but that should get you started.